Okay, so we're just trying to explore. There's a slaughterfish. That is a proper slaughterfish. Tell you what, look at them. Anyhow, to get through that little gap, you need to crawl to get under that, and you just press whatever the crouch button is on your that you've configured. For me, that's the X key, so we can just get down. Also, I've got a water breathing spell that I handily made before, so I can actually get through here without too much hassle. And as soon as you are on the other side of that tunnel, you can you can climb up if your climbing skill is good enough, or you can jump up if you you wonder how you can jump out of water. But there's various ways you can get out. You can also levitate out of this place, and that's what we're going to do here. And just levitate yourself out of the water. If you don't have levitation spell, of course, you can always just climb out, but you have to have a reasonable amount of skill. Those slaughterfish, if you don't kill them, then they'll do a lot of damage to you. You can just look at my green stats, and my health bars are really taken down quite low. It's not nice at all. Anyhow, we need to. Oh, we're locked in here. I don't think we can rest while we're levitating. Yeah, we can't sleep now because we're levitating in the air. But we quite badly need to rest. Without that shortcut, you have to take a huge detour, long way round, and it's very confusing. So that shortcut is really handy. You do need some decent swimming skill. If your swimming skill is under 10, you'll find out that you can't actually get anywhere. You can actually pick up training. If you join the Fighters Guild, you can pick up training in swimming, and you can get your swimming up to a reasonable level. The only way you can improve your swimming is actually to swim underwater. When that little yellow underwater bar appears, then that's when your swimming gets trained. You don't train your swimming any other way, I think. Okay, we can't rest here still. Now, this might look very familiar to you. When we were in Castle Fallon, we were in a very, very similar place. Almost identical to this kind of cut and paste dungeon. And we had one of those alcoves that looked out, and what you need to do is you need to... Oh, actually, we could go down here. This is another detour place. There's no real point coming around here. There's some nice pools of water we can just jump over. Yeah, we need to go back to this kind of alcove room, because that alcove room is our shortcut. Now, to get over that, you need to jump, and you need to climb as well. So jump and climb, and you can also use the crouch button, which makes your character a little bit smaller so you can squeeze through. It's best off saving around here, because what happens is that sometimes you jump and you go into the void. I mean, I haven't had a video of the void yet, but you end up outside of... I don't know how to describe it. You end up outside of the castle walls in the blackness. If you've ever seen the creation kit, that's where you end up in, and you fall right to the bottom and generally end up dying. So save before you try this. And we're through. Okay, that wasn't too difficult. That's not too difficult to get through. And this is a decent shortcut for us. There's still enemies nearby. We desperately need a place to rest and recharge. These enemies are no hassle. I don't think we can carry any gold. No, we're all out of carrying space. I don't want to drop my mithril short bow. I think that's quite useful for me. Can't rest in here either. Not that you'd really want to rest in a room like that. Now, that room in there, we could... Yeah, this is where we need to go. let's save here. This is the meeting room. Again, you might recognise this from the Castle Fallon. It looks very similar, some sort of throne room or courthouse. We can have a quick rest here. And like our jumping skill, destruction skill all boosts up a little bit. Now out of this room is basically going to be one of our final objectives. And our final objective, of course, is the special Wayrest painting. I see another fighter. I mean, if you didn't have spell absorption as a natural character trait, you can also pile that in on your spell as well. You can actually cast spell absorption first, and then cast a spell like that. So even if you didn't have a custom character class, you could still go ahead and do the same thing. It just costs you a little bit more in terms of magicka to do each time. I think we turn left here. Yep, we turn left. Ignore that cell. I'm sure that there's just a monster in these side cells. I mean, sometimes these rooms lead to... I'll have to deal with this guy as well. Looks like a knight. Try and grab that gold. Werewolf's blood. Try and grab that. Well, that helm's no use anyway. I don't think we can pick up anything there. Some of these doors actually lead to where you need to go, and some of them are just dead ends or blind endings just to confuse you, or they lead to another part of the dungeon. So unless you know exactly where you're going, it really is difficult, and like I said before, the map's pretty much no use. And don't worry about killing all these knights. No one cares. No one cares that you've killed them all. You don't get a bounty, or you don't commit a crime doing it. So this is actually where we need this. I think this is the final room. Let's just open it up. Yeah, this is the final room. You can see the painting up there. This is quite an interesting room because sometimes this room is actually repeated, and it's actually full up with water. Let's see what this guy has. Is he not going to let me look at him? He's got a dwarven daikatana, big katana, steel short bow. Nothing that we really want. That dwarven daikatana we can't use. Of course, that would fetch us a decent price, but we don't really care about that now. In each of these surrounding doors there is another knight, so as soon as we grab that, then knights are supposed to pour out. So we can just hop over here though and grab that painting. Of course, remember we've got that recall spell. We can't actually... yeah, I think these doors basically just spring open. They unlock as soon as you grab this. Let's try to grab it. I'm carrying too much to lift it. Okay, it looks like that door's... yep, all these doors have been unlocked. We need to drop a few things. Arrows do weigh a bit, but we want a few arrows just in case we come across anyone nasty. Not that it's going to do too much. Let's drop a few ingredients. We don't need all that. That book, it's worth 200 gold, but we don't need that. This is much more important. So there you go, we've taken that painting, and I think we can easily warp out of here. If we warp out of here, there you go. So we didn't have to fight those knights in the end. Now this painting that we picked up, that the Queen of Wayrest so wanted, let's have a look at it. We're not supposed to have a look at it. It says Flex Domain Mastercraft in full by Germanian Galtian. Now, if you press use, sometimes you can actually see what's happening. But what it looks like someone getting... It looks like someone getting stabbed. And that's quite interesting, of course. You know, why would the Queen of Wayrest want it? That's highly suspicious that she'd want you to break into this someone else's castle and then take the painting. No idea. And also, the painting, of course, doesn't belong to her. It belongs to King Lysandus of Daggerfall, of another state. So, you know, why on earth does she want it? It's immediately suspicious, and it's also suspicious that she directed us not to look at it. And anyway, as soon as we exit, the scene of the painting shifts and twists. You can clearly see the inside of a tent. Several men in the livery of Wayrest are intensely debating with a man wearing Daggerfall coat and arms. One of the Wayrest men slips behind the Daggerfall man, draws a dagger and stabs him, and then the painting fades. Right, so we asked those questions and we pretty much know what's going on now. Someone from Wayrest, let's see what these guys have. Someone from Wayrest basically killed someone from Daggerfall, and if we're not too stupid, we work out for ourselves. Let's check this. What sword is that? That's an adamantium short sword. It's 7 to 14 points of damage. I sort of want to carry that. I think adamantium's one of our banned items. We can't actually use it. I don't think it's as good as our mithril sword anyway. We're not... Our mithril sword's 7 to 18, so our mithril broadsword does a lot more damage, and we're skilled in broadswords as opposed to short swords anyway. It is tempting to take, but we don't need it. Much prefer to take that painting. We don't want to leave without it. But yeah, what that tells us in the storyline is that people from Wayrest had something to do with someone getting stabbed to death from Daggerfall. And you can put 2 and 2 together and you can pretty much figure out for yourself, let's just exit here, you can pretty much figure out for yourself that the person in the picture was the king of Daggerfall, or he was King Lysandus, who now haunts Daggerfall. So rather than being killed on the battlefield, as was presumed, he was actually assassinated inside a tent where he was presumably discussing something with the men of Wayrest. And then you kind of think, this is exactly why the Queen of Wayrest wants that painting, because that painting actually shows you what actually happened. So the Queen of Wayrest is also a bit of a devious person, because she had something to do or knows something about the assassination of King Lysandus. Okay, so basically we've got a royal tragedy in the making. We have got the King of Sentinel, who basically committed infanticide. Infanticide, is that how you say it? Well, basically killed his own son, left him to rot and die in a dungeon. You have the royalty of Wayrest, who backstabbed one of their allies, and you have the royalty of Daggerfall, who is an adulterer and who's now dead. Now, we haven't met anyone else from Daggerfall, so we can't really judge, but everyone else from Wayrest, hello, from Wayrest, from Sentinel are bad people. So, you know, you're already building a picture of pretty much everyone in Daggerfall being a nasty person. Now, this might not be highly surprising, considering they keep wraiths and all kind of evil beings inside their castles. But yeah, none of them are to be trusted, and you might think, okay, perhaps the Emperor is our only friend, is the only decent person. Actually, I'm more inclined to think the Underking is actually a much misunderstood person. Certainly the Necromancers are misunderstood, but you know, Necromancers are evil after all. Anyhow, let's go and speak to this giant queen Did you attempt to use the painting? No, of course I didn't. Excellent, its properties are inappropriate for those who are not of royal blood. Here's your 742 gold. So, we get our gold. If you tell her that you did look at the painting, she dislikes you, so it's not worth telling her, and it doesn't give you anything else anyway. But that's it for now, and we shall see you next time.